Saral Japani, Japanese learning made easy. Konnichiwa minasan. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel. And this is the series called Elementary Japanese Crash Course JLPT N5 N4. Friends, this is really a crash course for the preparation of JLPT N5 or N4 levels. And for this purpose, we are referencing the famous Japanese textbook, Elementary Japanese Volume 1 and Volume 2, written by Professor Yoko Hasegawa. So we have started with lesson 1 of the book. Today is the third video of this series, third lecture of this series, which is Useful Expressions Part 3. And in this video, in this lecture, we shall look into these three topics: self-introduction with list of college majors, then finally the exercises given at the end of this chapter, and the recap of vocabulary that we learned in this chapter. This is the front page of the book Elementary Japanese by Yoko Hasegawa. And this is the contents of lesson 1, which we have been discussing. So today we shall be discussing the exercises and vocabulary of this chapter, and additionally we will look into the list of college majors, although we did self-introduction in the first lecture itself, but from the college majors point of view we will look into it one more time. So that means first we will be doing these sections and then we will move to exercise and vocabulary, and rest everything has been completed in the previous two lectures: daily expressions, classroom expressions, hiragana, the vowel devising principle, then long vowels and consonants, and the pitch accent in Japanese. So we introduced all of these concepts in the previous two lessons. So let's begin today's lecture. So we begin with the list of college majors. As you can see, the section 1D of this chapter was list of college majors, and it was appendix B was referenced here. See appendix B. So we will now go to appendix B and see what they have provided. So this is appendix B. There are a couple of pages. So I am not going to put all those pages in this lecture because that may not be really helpful at this stage, because this is only the third video of this series. So this is just for your information that in this book, in appendix B, the full list of college majors, that means the specializations or the subjects, have been written in English and their corresponding Japanese version in hiragana, and in romaji and kanji also it has been provided. So what we will do, I will simplify it for you and we will see how these are named. So as you can see, at the end of each of these there is gaku, 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 gaku. So that means there is something to do with gaku. So what is gaku and why every specialization ends with gaku, I will explain. So for example, let's take some of these. For example, biology. So you can see here it's written, just try to read because we did hiragana last time. If you have practiced, then you should be able to read this. So sei, i, bu, tsu, gaku. That is seibutsu gaku. Similarly, here aviation is koku gaku. Koku gaku. So now there is a huge list of all these college majors. So we will look into some specific ones, the very common ones. So let's start with this symbol. So as you can see in the kanji form, this represents gaku. In every major name, the last one is gaku. So what is this symbol? This symbol called gaku is a noun word which means learning or knowledge. It's the fundamental meaning of this gaku is this. Now, when it is used as a suffix after the name of the subject, then it becomes study of. That means if biology, kanji of biology is followed by this kanji, that means study of the living beings. So that means that is biology. That means ology or ICS, that is physics or astronomy or something like that, that the suffix portion is represented by this gaku, and that's why you have butsuri gaku, kogaku, sugaku, and so on. So all the subjects will end in gaku. And from there we have gakusei, student. That means one who is seeking some kind of knowledge or learning is a student. So it is gakusei. Gakko is school, again a place where you have knowledge and learning. Daigaku is university. So dai means big, this symbol, and gaku means school. So or a big place or an important place of knowledge or learning, that is daigaku, which means university. And one example is kagaku, which means science. So kagaku, ka, it means science, and gaku is the study of, or ology or ICS, whatever suffix you have, or the meaning is study of something. So this study of is represented by gaku. So now let's take a look at some of these measures. So kogaku, as you can see here, kogaku, which means engineering. Kagaku is science, kogaku is engineering. So here we go. So this is a very, very common list of college majors, and it is also called specialization, or in Japanese it is called senmon. Senmon, as you see here, senmon means specialization or the major. Mathematics, sugaku. Chemistry, kagaku. Physics, butsurigaku. Biology, seibutsugaku. Geography, chirigaku. Geology, chishitsugaku. Chishitsugaku. Medical science, Igaku. Psychology, Shinrigaku. Shinrigaku. So in this way, you can read these hiragana and you can memorize the specializations. Civil engineering is Doboku Kogaku. So Kogaku is engineering and Doboku is the civil part. Similarly, mechanical engineering is Kikai Kogaku. So Kogaku is common, which is engineering, and Kikai is mechanical. Computer science, Joho Kogaku. Joho Kogaku. So all these are extended consonants. As you can see, Jo becomes Jo, Ho becomes Ho, Ko becomes Ko because of these additional U syllables here. But these are, as we discussed yesterday in the last lesson, that this will not become Jo, this will not become Ho, this will not become Ko, but it is Jo, Ho, Ko, Gaku. Literature is Bungaku. English is Eigo. Eigo is English, so this is an exception. There is no gaku here. Similarly, economics is keizai, keizai, and architecture is kenchiku, kenchiku. So these were some of the common specializations that you will require in your day-to-day conversation in Japanese. So friends, that was about the list of college majors. And as I said in the beginning, the Appendix B gives a hell long list of college majors which may not be required at this stage. Whenever it is required, we will bring that into our lecture. So now, as part of self introduction, how would you say your college major? Suppose first you introduce yourself as Watashi wa Sujoy desu. Watashi no senmon wa butsurigaku desu. Watashi no senmon. So again, we were using no after watashi, which we have not yet discussed in this course. So don't uh, get confused with that. We will get to there in the next lesson. So for now, just remember that watashi wa means I and watashi no means my. So watashi no senmon wa, that means my specialization or my major is butsurigaku. And what is butsurigaku? You can see here, butsurigaku means physics. So physics is my specialization. So you will, in Japanese, you will say watashi no senmon wa butsurigaku. Similarly, if your specialization or major is biology, you can say watashi no senmon, watashi no senmon wa seibutsugaku desu. So how to use the particle no, how to use this we will learn in the very next lesson of this series, that is when we begin lesson 2. So for now, just for the sake of introducing yourself to someone and telling him your specialization, just remember that you have to say watashi no senmon wa butsuri gaku desu, or if it is mathematics, it's sugaku desu. So now we have covered all these sections of lesson 1, that is 1A until 1J. So we are now left with the exercises and vocabulary. So let's move quickly to exercises. This is the first exercises. This is the first exercise. What would you say in Japanese in the following situations? So what do you see here? The first figure. The first question is, you see here one person is standing with a book in his hand, and it is mentioned as sensei. That means he is the teacher, and this is definitely a student. So A is a student, B is a teacher, sensei, and it is 9 a.m. So what would the student say? Can you guess? I will give you the answer, but let me give you some time to think. So at 9 a.m., what would the student say to the teacher? It will be good morning, obviously. So what is good morning in Japanese? It is ohayo gozaimasu. Since he is talking to the teacher, so gozaimasu has to be added as a mark of respect. Ohayo gozaimasu, that is good morning. Teacher also reciprocates the same message, ohayo gozaimasu. So both A and B will be ohayo gozaimasu. Now the same situation here, 9 a.m., but in place of teacher and student, there are two friends, A and B. So what would they say? They would say Ohayo, Ohayo. That means there is no formality between them because they are friends. So gozaimasu is not needed here. It will be simply Ohayo. Next question is, now it's 2 p.m. Again, student, and this is a teacher or someone elderly. So what would the student say? How he will greet the teacher at 2 p.m.? Morning was Ohio. Now 2 p.m. Can you guess? The answer will be konnichiwa. Konnichiwa can be used as good day, or it can be used as a generic hi or hello as well. And this is both casual as well as polite form. There is no separate gozaimasu kind of polite form for konnichiwa. So konnichiwa itself is polite. And the teacher will also say konnichiwa. Now here it is 9 p.m. Now you see here they are not partying each other. They are not taking leave, but they are just coming in contact with one another. That means they have to greet each other. So looking at 9 p.m., don't think that they are saying goodbye or something, because the the position of the hands and all doesn't look like that. So they are just meeting at 9 p.m. So how they would greet each other, A and B. So can you guess at 9 p.m.? Morning was Ohio, afternoon or day was Konnichiwa. What would be 9 p.m.? It will be Kombangwa. Kombangwa. That means good evening. And again, like konnichiwa, kombangwa is a polite expression, and both polite and casual. So there is no separate form for polite or casual form. So kombangwa is the answer here for both A and B. Let's move on to the next question. See here. Now A is the student, B is the sensei, and sensei is going away from A. That means they are he is leaving A, or they are parting each other. So what will be the expression for A and what will be the expression for B? Can you guess? So it will be definitely formal goodbye. So it will be sayonara. Sayonara. And teacher will also say sayonara. So I'm sorry for this error. The shitsuri shimasu will be by A. This one will be by A and not by B, because Shitsuri shimasu is something which the junior will say. So the student may say sayonara or Shitsuri shimasu, and the teacher will say sayonara. Then the next one is the same situation. They are saying goodbye, they are leaving for the day, they are getting separated for the day, and they are friends. So what they would say to each other? They would say sayonara, or they can say ja mata ashta. That means, well then, see you tomorrow. So either of these can say ja mata ashta and mata ne. There are several informal expressions, and sayonara is also okay, although it's seldom used as we discussed last time, because sayonara is something which is common generally used when there is a long time separation going to happen. So for everyday separation, mata ashta, mata ne, ja, mata ashta, mata kondo. So all those may be used, which means see you tomorrow or see you again. So these are the expressions that you can use. Next one is this. Number 7, as you can see here, this person A has stepped on the foot of person B. So what you would say? What would A say and what would B say? Can you guess? So A would say, very easy, sumimasen. That means excuse me, please excuse me, or I am sorry. Sumimasen is a casual apology, you can say. And what would the person B say? So even if he has been hurt, or he might get angry also little, but because of the polite gesture, or to make the situation at ease, that means so that this person doesn't feel too bad, he would say "ie." That means no. No means it's not a problem, so it's okay, so I'm good, it's okay, so not a problem, so it's okay. So this is sorry, and this is it's okay. So EA means no in Japanese, hi means yes, and EA means no. So this means the person A apologizes, but the person B says no, that's fine. So sumimasen and EA. Now next is the case where this person is giving something to person A. So the situation is something like A has asked something from this person, and he is taking that file or the book out of the shelf and giving to him. So what would A say in this scenario? So definitely he will thank the person. So he will say domo arigatou gozaimasu. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. That means thank you very much, because he could have said arigato, or he could have said arigato gozaimasu, but he adds domo as well. That means he strongly appreciates what he has done. So domo arigato gozaimasu means thank you very very much, because he took the pain of finding something from this big rack, so which was not probably easy to find, and that's why the thanks that he is giving him has very high value. So domo arigato gozaimasu. And this person says, what he will say? Definitely you are welcome. So it will be do itashimashite. Do itashimashite. That means you are welcome, or that's okay. Now next question is, as you can see here, something related to food and some eating. So what is the difference between the two pictures? Here these two persons are sitting and there is food in front of them and they have not yet started to eat. And in this one, from these empty bowels and these bones of the skeletons of the fishes, it is clear that they have finished their eating. That means, what would they say? What would Japanese people say before starting to eat, and what they would say after finishing the meal? So that is needed here. So definitely both A and B will say the same thing, and here also A and B will say the same thing. So what are those two expressions, friends? Can you guess? Before starting to eat and after finishing the meal, we discussed this in the lecture 1 of this series. So before starting the meal, Japanese people say itadaki mas. Itadakimasu, that means thank you for this meal. This is exactly the same as what we do in our country, that we thank the god, we thank the people who are behind this meal, the farmers or the person who has cooked, who has brought this meal to the table. That means you in general overall thank everyone involved with this, with the production of this meal. So itadakimasu is that gesture of thanking everyone for this food, including god. And after the meal also, one has to thank the host who made that who served that food, who made that food, or the host of the food or the meal. So that is gochiso sama deshita. Gochiso sama deshita, which means thank you for the treat. So it was a lovely treat. Thank you very much for the treat. So both at the beginning and at the end in Japanese culture, there is this thanking for the food, and after the meal also thanks to the host for this delightful food and meal. And this we have, you can see in this 11th number question, these two persons, probably husband and wife, they are going to sleep now at night. So what they would say before just switching off the lights? Do you remember how to say good night? So since they are husband and wife, so there will not be any formality between them. So they would say simply oyasumi, oyasumi. So oyasumi, so this is oyasumi. So I am not saying oyasumi, but I am saying oyasumi because this is the devising of the vowel that we learned in the last lesson. Oyasumi, and the wife would also say oyasumi. And if it is formal, if it has to be formal, then it will be oyasumi nasai. We have to add nasai to make it formal. Number 12 is related to self introduction. So he is asking, how do you do? And he is saying, nice to meet you. So this will be hajime mashite and yoroshiku onegai shimasu, or just dozo yoroshiku. So basically it's not that hard coded that how do you do will be hajime mashite and nice to meet you will be dozo yoroshiku, but in general the overall meaning of hajime mashite dozo yoroshiku means nice to meet you. I am looking, our association is beginning today, so I am looking forward to continue with this association, and I would request you to continue with this association. This entire meaning is expressed using these two expressions, hajime mashite and dozo yoroshiku. So loosely, hajime mashite means nice to meet you, and dozo yoroshiku means please keep me in your thoughts and please accept this invitation to of our association, and please continue to keep this association alive. But uh, as given in this chapter, we can say one is saying hajime mashite, the other one is saying dozo yoroshiku. So we will explain all of these later when we come across this again. And this is the last question. What is your major? What's your major? That means what would A say in Japanese? Gosenmon wa, as we saw in the first lecture, senmon means major or specialization, and when it is prefixed with go, it becomes little more respectful. That means go is the honorific prefix here. So we if we say senmonwa, then it becomes little rude or impolite. So adding a go makes it more polite. So go senmonwa, and this we have not studied yet, but if we want to complete the question, then it will be Gosenmon wa nan desu ka? That means what is your specialization or what is your major? And he would say Sugaku desu. That means it's mathematics. Sugaku means mathematics. Des is the verb. that means it is mathematics. So it is conveyed by this. So this we will learn in the next lecture. In the very next lecture, we will learn this. So for now, just keep this in mind that you have to end with this, which means it is. Next question of the exercises is, let's read the following words. That means you have to just read these words in Japanese, which are written in simple hiragana characters. The meanings are written here, so you don't have to memorize the meanings as of now. The question is just to read the following words and just understand the meanings. So the first one is uchi. Uchi means home or house. Then it is oki. So as I told you earlier, if you have these long vowels or long consonants, you do not break the syllables. You won't say o key. Don't say like that. So it will be in continuation. That means o key. So we just extend the sound of the first one according to the second one, and in that way it becomes o key. And similarly, key and e, it becomes o key. It's not o key e. It's not o key e. It's o key, which means big or large. It's an adjective. Then we have okasan, as you can see here, okasan, which means mother. Then we have otosan, which means father. We have oni-san, which is older brother. One-san, older sister. Now san you are seeing here. So san is again an honorific, just like in Hindi we use G after the name, or for example in English you can say we don't use that much, but just like sir or madam, we use san in Japanese, which means you are giving respect to that person. So you, if you simply write the name of say the name of the person, then that may sound very very rude. For example, if it is Mr. Tanaka, then you would say Tanaka-san. So Mr. in place of Mr. you can write san at the end. So in English we have the salutation in the beginning, so this is kind of salutation kind of thing. So Mr. Tanaka means Tanaka-san. Shumi. Shumi means hobby. So see here, it is shu, this is she, this is you, but it is half the size. So it is a conjugation. So this is, I mean, compound sound. So she becomes shu, shumi, which is hobby. Sushi, very, very common, which is, you already know what is sushi. Sensei, teacher. Daigaku, which means university, we just saw. Daigaku, university. Tsukue, this is tsuku-e, tsukue, which means desk or a table. Tomodachi, friend. Nihongo, Japanese language. This is nomu. Nomu means to drink. It is a verb, means to drink. Hyaku, again he. This is a small ya. So he plus small ya becomes hya and ku. So hyaku means 100. This is yume. Yume. So this is full size you and full size me. So yume, which is dream. This is ryoko. See, it is ri, and this is half the size of yo. So it becomes ryo. Ri becomes ryo. So ryoko, trip. Watashi, it's I or me. So in this way, you can just again read through this so that you get familiar with this hiragana vocabulary or hiragana chart. One more question of reading the words, and this is bit difficult. So let's read through again. This is ika. Ika means below, quantity. This is motto. How this is motto? This is mo. This you can see small sized tsu. So this is basically the long consonant. So moto becomes motto because to is preceded by this small tsu. So this gives the pronunciation of motto, which means more. Ichi, one. This is sakki. Sakki. Why Sakki? This is sa, this is ki, and this is a small tsu. So if there is a small tsu, then the following consonant will have a double consonant pronunciation. So Saki will become Sakki, which is thirst for blood. Then we have Kaki. Kaki means persimmon. Then we have Shto. Shto, way of using. This is she, this is to, but due to vowel devoicing, we won't say it shito, it will be shto. Then this is beshi, be, she, but here is a small tsu, so she becomes beshi. Beshi becomes beshi, which is contempt. Then this is ikki, same rule, ikki, riot. Then this is hakai, destruction. Then this is NIQ. So see, this is very, very interesting. We have ni, then we have half su followed by e. So if we have until this portion, until here, if we have, then it will be nik. But after Nikki, we have this small u and then followed by a u. That means this is q. So it will be nikq, nikq. So there is double consonant key, but after key it is again q. That means double consonant q. So it will be nikq, daily wages. We have ikka. This is ikka, which is one family. This is moto, which means formerly. Then we have ichi, we have which means agreement. We have saki, which means ahead. We have kakki, which is vigor or energy. Then we have shitto, which is jealousy. We have beshi, means must or command. Iki, breath. We have hakkai, which is eighth floor, and nik nikyu, nikyu, which is second level. So although I read in this order, I think you should read in this direction. So like this way, this way, in this way you should read these, because the first word then will be without the long consonant, and the second word will be using the long consonant for the same word. For example, ika, ikka, moto, motto, ichi, ichi, saki, sakki, kaki, kakki. Then this is shito, shitto, beshi, beshi. Then iki, ikki, hakai, hakkai. This is nikyu and this is nikyu. So in this way, one word is for is without a double consonant and the other word is with a double consonant for the same spelling. So in this way, as I said earlier, you need not memorize the meanings of each of these. This question is only to read the word so that you can have a proper understanding of how words are formed using hiragana characters and what are the nuances in that. So if you practice these, then you will get very much familiar with the hiragana vocabulary, which is extremely important, because unless you can identify the characters, you won't be able to read or write the characters. So very, very important. Please go through this video one more time and try to write these words down in your notebook so that you have both reading, vocabulary, as well as writing practice of this. So this is the final slide of lesson one. This which is vocabulary that we learned in this lesson. This textbook's vocabulary, like that in a dictionary, is organized according to the order of the hiragana chart: a, e, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, and so forth. So in this lesson we have onamae. Onamae means name in respectful manner, that is polite form, and normal is namae, which means name. Gakusei, student. Nihongo, Japanese language. Senmon, Gosenmon is major or specialization in a polite manner. Hiragana, which is the script. Sensei, teacher. senmon, major. So here go senmon is major respectful, senmon is major normal, watashi, I or me. So it is arranged in terms of alphabetical order. So this is the vocabulary that we learned in this. So friends, with that we come to an end of lesson 1. So we had 3 lectures, and together these 3 lectures covered all these topics including the exercises and vocabulary of lesson 1, useful expressions ohayo gozaimasu, good morning, of the this lesson of the elementary Japanese book volume 1 written by Yoko Hasegawa. So that's all for today. Please subscribe to this channel, and if you have any questions, you can always email me at saraljapani@gmail.com. In the next lesson, in the 4th lecture of this series, we will begin lesson 2 of the book Elementary Japanese, and we will get deeper into our learning of Japanese. And to remind you again, this series is Elementary Japanese, which is a crash course for the preparation of JLPT N5 and N4. So be in touch with this series if you are looking for JLPT certification in near future, and this playlist will help you out in your mission. So thanks for watching this video. Till we meet again, arigato gozaimasu, mata imasho.